Good morning, all of you. Today we will discuss about the Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. Yesterday we discussed about the Fraunhofer diffraction due to single slit. What is the resultant amplitude due to n vibrations, and what is the resultant intensity? How principal maximum and maximum intensity, secondary maximum, and minimum intensity positions occur. So okay. Now today we will discuss about the Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. What is this? There is a double slit is nothing but there is two slits are there. This is one slit, this is another slit. The first slit is taken as A and the second slit is taken as B. The width of the slit is taken as small e. Width of the first slit is small e and the width of the second slit is also taken as small e. And the distance between two slits, that is opaque distance, is taken as small t. So that is the arrangement of two slits in Fraunhofer diffraction. Then what happens to the center? The distance between two centers of the two slits is equal to E plus D. Am I right? Because this is E by 2 and this is E by 2. E by 2 plus E by 2 is small e plus D. E plus D is the distance between two centers of the two slits. Now we are discussing Fraunhofer diffraction is nothing but there is a plane wave front. So the plane waves are coming from the plane wave like this. Because the source is at infinite distance, the rays came from this infinite distance is parallel rays. It gives a plane wave front. Because we required in Fraunhofer diffraction plane wave front. Now, these rays will incident on the screen just like this. Two things. These two rays, when normally incident on the slits and will travel along the direction of the light, will be concentrated by a convex lens on the screen at a point P0, as we discussed in the single slit also. The rays which is coming in the direction of the incident rays concentrated by a convex lens on the screen at P. But we know every point on the plane wavefront or wavefront will act as a source to the secondary wavelets. It is nothing but from this point, that point A will move in all directions, and the ray secondary wavelets will move from point B also in all directions. Now we have to consider only one of the ray whose diffraction angle is theta will move along this direction. And from this slit B also, one of the ray is diffracted an angle theta. These two diffracted rays will be concentrated on the screen at point P1. Now our aim is, what is the intensity at P1? Is it bright fringe or dark fringe? Actually, when we observe, there is two slits. So there is a combination of interference as well as diffraction we will observe in this case. Because there is a slit, that is a single slit diffraction, already what we discussed yesterday. And this second one is the combination of the two rays coming from the two slits will act as a coherent sources. When we two coherent sources superimpose each other, then what happens? Interference occurs. There is a bright and dark fringes occurs. So in the double slit experiment, there is interference pattern as well as diffraction pattern we will observe. So we know always the intensity is depending on the square of the amplitude. Square of the amplitude. The amplitude is depending on the phase difference of these two rays. so fast. What is amplitude due to the single slip? Already we discussed in the previous class that the amplitude capital R is equal to A sin alpha by alpha, where A is the amplitude of the single wave, maximum amplitude, and alpha is equal to pi E sin theta by lambda. Lambda is the wavelength of light used, theta is the angle of diffraction, E is the same slip. Of course, there is two slits are there. So there is one is R1 is equal to A sin alpha by alpha for the first slit A, and the second one is R2 is equal to A sin alpha by alpha, that is the amplitude due to the second slit. What is the resultant amplitude? So the resultant amplitude is depending on phase difference also. How can we calculate this phase difference? So as is usual, this is the actually the first ray, that is R1, that is equal to A sin alpha by alpha. One more ray which is moving along this direction, that is R2 is equal to A sin alpha by alpha. This is the angle made, this is called phase difference between two amplitudes. Phase difference between two amplitudes. Now the resultant amplitude is from this point to this point. When we draw a line, this is called resultant amplitude. So there is, how can we calculate? The resultant amplitude R is equal to, or may be written as, according to the cosine law, R square is equal to R1 square plus R2 square plus 2R1 R2 cos alpha. Cos this is that. Am I right? From this, R square is equal to R1 is equal to how much? A sin alpha by alpha whole square plus A sin alpha by alpha whole square plus 2 into A sin alpha by alpha into A sin alpha by alpha into cos delta. Now, of course, that is equal to, there is also A square sin square by alpha, here also A square sin square by alpha. When we have taken as common A square sin square alpha by alpha square, there is only 1. There is also 1. There is 2. A sin alpha by alpha, A sin alpha by alpha is already common into cos delta. Am I right? Now that is equal to A square sin square alpha by alpha square into 1 plus 1, 2. When 2 is taken as common, 1 plus cos delta. There is a trigonometric formula, that is 1 plus cos delta is equal to, can anyone? 2 cos square delta by 2. From this, that is the resultant amplitude R square is equal to A square sin square alpha by alpha square into 2 into 1 plus cos delta is 2 cos square delta by 2 cos square delta. Of course, 2 into 2 is 4, that is R square is equal to 4 into A square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square delta. Right? Actually, that is the resultant square of the resultant amplitude. Then what is intensity? We know intensity I is equal to R square, that is equal to 4 into A square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square delta by 2. What is the value of delta? We don't know. Alright? We don't know the value of delta. So we have to calculate that value of delta. How? By using this analysis, We know when we draw a line here, that is normal. If this is angle of diffraction is theta, this angle is also theta. Of course, this is A, this is B, if this is C. The path difference between these two rays, that is AP1 and BP1, is BC. Am I right? Because really CP1 is really equivalent to AP1. So the only difference between two paths is BC. Now the path difference BC is equal to this is BC is equal to, how can we write? AB sin theta. Am I right? Why it is sin theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. That is opposite is BC, hypotenuse is AB. So that BC is equal to AB sin theta. But what is the value of AB? AB is equal to E plus D, already I told you. So that BC is equal to E plus D into sin theta. This is called path difference. But what we require? Phase difference is required. Already told you in the previous class that the phase difference is equal to, that is delta is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Am I right? Now, that is delta is equal to 2 pi by lambda into, that is E plus D into sin theta. When we substitute this value of delta into this equation, the resultant amplitude and the intensity I is equal to 4 into A square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square. Alpha value is 2 pi by lambda into E plus D into sin theta by, that is already 2. Of course, these two are cancelled each other. Now, intensity I is equal to 4 into A square sin square alpha by alpha square cos square, actually pi into E plus D into sin theta. That is what I have taken is beta. What is taken is beta. What is this beta? This beta is equal to, from that, pi into E plus D into sin theta by lambda. There is two terms in this. What is that? That is I is equal to 4 into A square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square beta. This is main equation what we require to analyze the diffraction of two rays. The first term you will see there A sin alpha by alpha, already discussed yesterday, that is diffraction due to single slit. So how the intensity is distributed among the single slit already we discussed. And the second term is cos square beta, that is cos beta is there. This cos beta term analyzes the interference. Analyzes the interference due to the two slits. Because each slit acts as a source to the secondary wavelets, two slits act as a coherent sources. If these two coherent sources superimpose each other, interference occurs. So there is interference as well as diffraction occurs in this double slit experiment. So first we will analyze this cos square beta term. This cos square beta term. There is condition, two conditions. First is if intensity is maximum, what happens? Second condition, if intensity is minimum, what happens? If we require intensity is maximum, intensity is nothing but whose value cos beta is equal to 1. Or maybe plus or minus 1, because there is a square. If cos beta is equal to plus or minus 1, the intensity is maximum. cos beta is equal to plus or minus 1 is nothing but beta is equal to how much? What is the value of cos 0? 1. What is the cos 180 degrees? That is also minus 1. That is also minus we have 180 degrees is nothing but pi. And 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and so on m pi. If beta is equal to 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and so on m pi, the cos beta value is plus or minus 1, which represents the intensity is maximum. Am I right? Intensity is maximum is nothing but it gives the bright fringe. Of course, that is beta is equal to m pi. Of course, plus or minus 1. But you know what is the value of beta? Pi into e plus d into sin theta by lambda, that is equal to plus or minus n. Where pi cancel each other. That is e plus d into sin theta is equal to plus or minus m lambda. This is the condition of maximum intensity in the double slit experiment. Okay, na? And what about second condition? Minimum intensity is required. Minimum intensity is required is nothing but this cos beta 10 is equal to 0. Cos beta is 0 is nothing but intensity is 0. Am I right? Now cos beta is equal to 0. What are the value of beta? Yeah, cos 90, you are right. Cos 90 value is 0. 90 is nothing but pi by 2. 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, and so on. 1, 3, 5, they are the odd numbers. That is 2n minus 1 into pi by 1. Maybe it is taken as plus 1 also. From this, beta is equal to 2n minus 1 into pi by 2. Am I right? So that, what is the value of beta? Pi into e plus d into sin theta by lambda, that is equal to 2n minus 1 into pi. Of course, pi cancel. That is e plus d into sin theta is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda. This is the condition for minimum intensities. Of course, we can draw this graphically also. Thereafter, we will see this process.